What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy to have you guys here. If you are a first timer to this channel, then welcome to you guys. We are about to go through the watch list for Lotto Friday, December 9th. Okay, I send these videos out for you guys for free every single day. So if it interests you, if you like what you're watching, make sure you click on that subscribe button and hit that bell. The bell sends you the notifications for when I send out these videos for free for you guys every single day. I send out daily watch lists, weekly swings, monthly swings, and I've got a plethora of learning tool videos. I've probably over 350 videos for you guys to run through and really immerse yourself into this strategy. Now, I want to go through a couple things before we get started. Number one, I'm on Twitter. If you're there, you can find me at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can comment down below. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. And you can also comment in my Discord, the Griswold Trading Discord. That link to join that Discord is in the description below. So it's a free room to join. There is a paid membership in that room. So you can find that information in the Discord. It's called the Griswold Gold Membership. It's $50 a month, or you buy 2 months for $100. You get the third month free, and includes a ton of great stuff. So it'll include the top 5 from the watch list that I run through every single day. I give out those to the Griswold Gold members. It's got a 1-hour strat course that you guys can watch. Takes you from the beginning stuff right to the end to learn really the strat in its simplicity. One-on-ones with myself. Okay, so one-on-one Google Meets with you and just me. Live trading bots on ticker symbols like SPY, QQQ, DIA, Tesla, NEO, Disney, CCL. Okay, so live trading bots. It sends out the trades directly to you guys. You don't have to go searching for them. And it also includes the Griswold Strat indicator that I created for you. Basically, all the Strat indicators wrapped into one indicator for you guys, so you don't have to have multiple indicators on your TradingView chart. Speaking of TradingView, if you don't have TradingView, this is what I'm using right now. That's what you see on your screen. If you are looking to try out TradingView for the first time, then there's a link in the description below. That link gives you a free 30-day, no-obligation trial to their subscription-based services. And then if you decide that you like those services after the 30 days, or even before, you get up to $30 off of your subscription of those services. So make sure you're taking advantage of that free 30-day trial. Let's get started on this watch list. I'm going to start with BA here. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is this. So for Thursday setups, I had this as a 2-down green, and this yellow line used to be here. And we look for the trigger, and we look for this target up here. Well, we gapped, but we still hit that target. And what I want to show you guys and tell you guys, and I mentioned this when a lot of times when the trigger and the target aren't far apart, like you'll see here, we tag that target and it reversed. We never saw that target again. So I always tell you guys, make sure you are prepared to take profit at your target, because if you're waiting, hoping, praying that that thing is going to go even higher than it does, most times it doesn't. We hit that target, we reverse, we'll never see that target again in that day. Okay? And that's exactly what happened on BA today. So I wanted to go through that real quick. So BA still has a setup for today, for Lotto Friday. We're going to look for a 2 down here. So we had a 2 up that finished red. I'm going to delete this green line so we're not confused. We had a 2 up that finished red. Okay, so directional candle, only when we break only the high, that's considered a 2 up. But we did finish red. So that gives me more probability that this is going to trend back to the downside on the following day. Now, I usually put these targets down at the bottom of the wicks, like so. Okay, this is going to be our second target. Our first target is the gap fill. Because we gapped up, and if you guys don't know how to play the gaps, so if we open above or below the target, then there's a way to play it. It's called the morning gaps, or the orb, the opening range breakout. So I'll put a video at the end of this video, and you guys can check that out and learn how to play the morning gaps. It's really, really simple. So on this play, we had the 2 up, finished red, trigger at 178.61. Our first target becomes that gap fill right here. Our second target is the bottom of that same candle, the bottom of the wicks. And it's usually always the bottom of the wicks as long as there is no gap. So just like the third target would be the bottom of the next candle, then the bottom of this inside bar candle, painted yellow, part of the Griswold Strat indicator, and then the bottom of this one. And again, guys, I I supply all of that stuff separately. So you can buy the indicator separately, you can get the one-on-one separately, but as a package deal, you are getting way more benefit from buying that $50 membership than you are getting a one-on-one separately for 38 bucks, or buying the indicator for 25 bucks, okay, or getting access to the trading bots for 20 bucks. You get all of that for 50 plus 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 plus. Okay, so let's continue on here. We're going to move on to JP Morgan. JPM had an inside bar, double inside bar, in fact. Okay, so inside bars, let me explain them to you if you're brand new here. I always tell people who are struggling or who are brand new to watch the inside bars, play the inside bars. So the inside bars, or these yellow bars that you see here, are consolidating candles. So they don't break the high and they don't break the low of the previous candle. Just like you can see here, this inside bar did not break the high or the low of the previous inside bar candle. This inside bar candle over here, over this gray line, did not break the high or the low of the previous candle. So they're consolidating. And when you see those yellow candles, if you have the Strat indicator, when you see those yellow candles, I want you guys to imagine a spring being compacted, loaded, squished. And when you release that spring, almost like a jack in the box, you're expecting a big explosion to one direction or the other. And it doesn't always work, but probabilities tell us that it does. And every trade, every strategy is based off of probabilities. And so in saying that, nothing is 100% foolproof. There's no strategy that's 100% foolproof that works 100% of the time. Okay, so we play off of probabilities. So the probability of an inside bar doing really well, you can see here, we triggered, we hit targets, good trade. Inside bar, we triggered, we hit targets, good trade. Inside bar, we triggered, hit multiple targets, good trade. We even filled some of the gaps here, not all of them, but eventually we did, I guess. So inside bar to the downside for 1, 2, 3 straight days that inside bar ran for. And if we go back even just to look at one more, and for probability's sake, let's go, I cannot find one. We're going to go back in time anyways to see the last time there was a double inside bar. So here's an inside bar. Look at this. It gapped up, but it was a huge run. Again, here we opened, trended down. This one wasn't great. And that was the last inside bar. The last inside bar ended up outside bar. So it wasn't a great trade. You probably wouldn't have made, maybe you would have made money, but it wouldn't have been a lot. And again, here's this double inside bar going into an outside bar. So we opened, we triggered, we hit targets, and then it reversed. So again, that's something to watch for. 2 straight double inside bars that we've looked at on JP Morgan, and both of them went outside bar the following day. So you see these gold highlights, that represents a 3-1 setup, part of my indicator, and the blue line that we're looking for shows me the double inside bars. They're very easy to spot when we're looking for them or going back in time to see how they react. Look at this, double inside bar to outside bar. So let's be very cautious of that. Double inside bar, and we ran down. So we may gap, we may have an outside bar play tomorrow based off of previous double inside bars. So be very cautious of that. Okay, we can look for calls at 132.98, puts at 131.43. We've got our targets marked out accordingly. Roku has a 2-up that finished red, and we've got time frame continuity fully across the board to the downside. So we are going to look for Roku to trend down. We're going to look for puts at $50.40. First target, $49.65. That's almost a full dollar move. So in options, that's really good. So we're looking for a strike price. They call it Lotto Friday because Friday, most contracts, option contracts expire. So it's 0 days to expiry. It's a lotto play. So I would take a Friday expiry. My strike price would be on this one. If my trigger is $50.40, my strike price is going to be $50. Okay. I take the closest strike I possibly can to the trigger price. We'll move on to Snap. Snap has a 2-up that finished red hammer candle. So this is what's called a 1-2-2 reversal or a 1-2-2 rev strat. Again, full time frame continuity pointing to the downside. So we trigger at 9:35, first target's at 9:28, second at 9:15. Good play on Snap there with the full time frame continuity. So we move on to GM. GM, again, a double inside bar. So if we go back really quick to find the last double inside bar, and we can find it faster than most because we have that blue highlight. And they don't, guys, they're so rare. The double inside bars in the dailies, they just don't happen very often. And look how far back we're going. We are in June of 21. How far back? Maybe, and here's the first one. December, almost a year ago. Almost a year to the date. Double inside bar. And what happens? Okay, we triggered and we didn't hit targets. Could you have made some money on that trade? Probably, as long as you managed it correctly. And so we set our triggers and our targets on a higher time frame, and we go to manage it on a smaller time frame, whether that's the 30, the 15, the 5, the 3, whatever you want to do. But that's how you should be managing your trades. And the best traders manage their trades the best. They have the best risk management. They have the best control over their emotions and the psychology of trading. And they do the complete 180 of what most people do. They let their winners run and cut their losers, whereas most traders, and this is why they fail, I would say the majority of the time, is because when they have those losers, they're hoping that that loser will turn green and they just continue to lose. And then that trade becomes a bigger loss than it should have been. And then when they have their winners, they see green and they see 5, 10, 15%. I got to take my profit. I got to get out of the trade. So your losers are coming in at 50, 40, 60, 70%. Your winners are only 15. Okay? It's got to be the opposite, guys. You have to let your winners run. Let the candlestick stop you out. Let the target stop you out. Go check out any of my review videos. Those videos will all show you exactly how you should be managing your trades. Okay? Target stop you out. Candlestick stop you out. Don't let fear stop you out, and don't let greed let your losers run. Okay, so that's GM, double inside bar, calls at 38.20, puts at 37.60. If we trend down, I mean, we do have a hammer candle, so this very well could trend up, but we're going to look at either way. If it breaks either side, it's a playable trade. See what happens with GM. Move on to plug here. Plug power has a 2-up that finished red. We're going to look for puts at 13.55. First target's at 13.40. And again, full time frame continuity right across the board. This is a good setup where we have that, you can almost call it a TTO if you want, where we're up, down, and out, gone past that trigger for a winning trade. We'll go to CCL. CCL has a inside bar inverse hammer or shooter candle. We can look for calls at 9.24, puts at 8.94 on CCL. We'll move on to AMD. AMD has a 2-down finish green. We're going to look for calls at 71.22. First target at 71.37. As we move on to CVX, CVX has this 2-up red. Time frame continuity. If this trends down, back to the downside. And again, it's one of those reversals that we look for. The 2-up that finish red. We're going to look for a 2-down that finishes red to complete this trade. 172.03 is the trigger. First target at 170.81. My strike price, 172, 171, somewhere in that range. And a Friday expiry. Now, if you want to take a further Friday out, like next Friday, by all means do that. Buys you a little bit more time if you want to stay in the trade a little bit longer. For me, guys, I'm only in a trade for 15, 20, an hour, 15, 20 minutes, an hour at the most. Okay, I don't like to sit around all day watching the computer screen. I like to get in. I like to get out. Okay, so we look at Etsy now. Etsy has the inside bar. We can look for calls at 135.68 on Etsy and puts at 129.65. Targets marked out for you guys accordingly. We move on to IBM. IBM 2-up red. Full time frame to the downside outside of this quarterly and the yearly. We'll look for puts at 147.37. Good magnitude, almost $1 to the downside at 146.29. That's what I call having meat on the bone. Okay, a lot of space between that trigger and that target, or that trigger and that magnitude. You can say that's where the bulls have their stop losses. They all mean the same stuff. Okay, so we can look for IBM on Lotto Friday as well. Lowe's, Visa, MasterCard, Home Depot, not something I usually put on here, but in talking to a lot of the people that do one-on-ones, they take limit orders on this stuff. Lowe's has a wide spread between the bid and the ask. And when we have a wide spread, that's not something that I like. Okay, that's just one of my rules. It doesn't mean you can't take it, but I like to buy market order. And if there's a 10% spread, I buy market. I'm 10% out when I get into the trade. So I don't usually trade companies like this unless it's swing trades. Then I'll use a limit order. But for my day trades, I'm market order buy, market order sell. And that's why I typically trade ticker symbols like NEO, SPY, QQQ, CCL, Ford, because they have those tight spreads. It's only a few pennies between the bid and the ask, and so I can buy market order and I can sell market order, and I'm in and out, and I don't have to wait to try and get an order filled. Because a lot of times, guys, you might get a move in the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you could be done. And if that's the case, that limit order may or may not get filled. So Lowe's has an inside bar. We've got really good time frame continuity to the downside. So puts at 202.46. We can also look for calls back to the upside at 209.99. We move on to ticker symbol M. That's Macy's. 2 up, finished red. We can look for puts on Macy's at 22.82, and this should be yellow. I'm not going to change it. Let me see here. There we go. 22.82 is our trigger on Macy's. Pinterest, 2 up, finished red. Okay, this is similar to what we've been seeing on a couple of the other plays, where we've trended down. We've had this little blip back up, and we're going to look for it to come back to the downside with full time frame continuity. Triggers at 22.51, first target at 22.08. And if we go to the monthly, because the monthly is still showing inside bar, for us to break out of that inside bar, we have a long ways to go. So we're not getting there tomorrow, but it's very possible that we're closer to going 2 down on the month than we are going 2 up for Pinterest. Okay, we'll go to PayPal. PayPal, 2 up, red. We're going to look for puts on this at, where are we? 73.79 for the trigger, first target at 71.01. This is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, guys. If we trigger right here, we are going red on the week. The reason I know that, and the reason I was counting, so this is Thursday's candle, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Monday. Monday opened right there. So as soon as we pass that green line to the downside, before we even trigger, we've got full time frame continuity to the downside. Okay, so right across the board, we will be all red on PayPal. Tesla, Myasla, 2 down, finished green. We're going to look for a reversal back to the upside. Calls at 175.20, first target at 179.38 on the EV company, Elon Musk. Uber, 2 up, red, full time frame to the downside. A lot of what we've been looking at recently. Okay, these 2 up reds, looking for a continuation on the downtrend. We're going to look for puts at $26.28. That's this yellow box right here. That's what I'm looking at. This blue box is the monthly, okay? And this green, 26.02, that's our first target on Uber. Guys, if you find this information helpful, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed down below, okay? So you get more of this information as we send it out, more watch lists, more learning tool videos, which I've got a ton of playlists out, a beginner's playlist, a learning tools playlist, a SPY trade list, how to trade just SPY on the 30, how to just trade SPY in general. Okay, a lot of great information for you guys. So Visa, same thing. Not something that I would typically look at, but we've got this 2 up red. If we look for puts at 207.75 and we trend down, we've got a good chance at a good trade here. But again, that spread between the bid and the ask is usually too high for me on Visa. We move on to XOM, 2 up red again. We'll look for puts at 103.71. We can mark out that first target together at 102.37 on XOM. XOP. Okay, so this one's a little different. We have this outside bar that finished red. I'm going to look for a 232 continuation. So we're going to look for triggers at 132.15, and in order to get the targets, we have to go back. That's filled the gap. There's target 1. Okay, I don't think we get past probably target 1. There's target 2 because we're still filling a gap there. And then we're going to put target 3 here. You can go further back, and it looks like there's another gap fill line there. So number 4. Okay, right there. Okay, that's how we do that. Make sure you rewatch that if it wasn't clear the first time, but that's puts on XOP. That's the Spider Oil and Gas ETF. Facebook, 2 up red, full time frame continuity back to the downside. Let's look for triggers at 114.59, first targets at 112.84. Guys, at the end of this video, because guess what's coming up next week? The Fed meeting. So they're going to announce, they're announcing a rate hike. Watch those Fed meeting videos that I've put out, because that over the last 23 times has worked 100% of the time. Now at some point it's not going to work, but for 23 straight times it's worked. And we're talking like multiple hundreds percents, like 100, 200, 300. Some people are pulling out 1,000% on some of these setups. So make sure you watch that video and learn how to play that Fed meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern when Powell walks up to that microphone. Make sure you guys know how to play the strategy, okay? Because it's most likely you're going to garner yourself a little bit of extra Christmas cash. And I hope that's what happens for all of you, for me, for all of you, because it's nice to get those big wins. So make sure you guys are watching those videos at the end. I'm going to put a gap playlist video at the end as well for you guys, and then a learning tool playlist. So thank you guys for watching. Good luck on Lotto Friday. Have a wicked good weekend. I wish you nothing but the best, and we will see you guys all on the next one. Bye-bye.